But before I announce her, I have to give a little backstory. And so this person in particular came to me like probably 2 years ago now, maybe a little bit less. And she's like, I want to do, a workout and I want to lose some weight and whatever. So she chooses TurboFire and Shakeology, and within I don't know how long it was, a couple of weeks, it was returned to me. Or returned to Beachbody. I saw it in my account. I'm like, oh, okay, she's real committed. So I kind of dismissed her like you often do when you have the people who kind of just buy things and then return them, and that's just who she was in my mind at that point. And then she comes back a little bit later, and she's like, actually, I want to be a coach, and I want to do Shakeology, and I want to get a different fitness program. I'm like, okay, great. So I stick her in the weak leg of my second business center, and I'm like, she's going to quit and return it. And now she was my first true runner in this business. She's absolutely taken Beachbody by storm. She's most definitely going to continue to be on leaderboards. I see her in the top 10 without question. And I'm really excited to welcome one-star diamond coach, really 3 combined, Coach Colleen Eddy.
Wow, talk about nerves. This is crazy. Just so you guys know, this was actually on my goal list for this year. It was on my written out goal list that no one ever does, right? I wrote down that I wanted to speak at a Super Saturday, and I even wrote the month September in parentheses. And here I am today, so write your goals down. And so I'm trying to speak slow, but that's impossible when I have so many amazing things to share with you guys. I'm going to do my best to slow it down and fit into 15 minutes. But I don't even know what you guys are looking at here, so okay. I'm 29 years old today. The girl on the left was about 25 years old. And yeah, I also didn't have a crazy weight loss transformation, but obviously you can see here that there were some significant changes. And this opportunity for me has completely changed me mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially. And so I want to tell you a little bit about who I was before I joined Team Beachbody, and then I want to share with you how I've been able to step out of my comfort zone and begin to make my dreams come true, which is why this is so hard to cram into 15 minutes. So the girl on the left there, I don't think looks anything like the person on the right, and that photo that was just up there, because I grew up an amazing life. I didn't have any childhood tragedy or anything bad in my life, but nothing was ever good enough for me. And I worked for corporate America for about 5.5 years. I was a manager for Verizon Wireless, and I did very well at that company. I worked as a customer service rep. I moved up fast to sales, and then I went right into management. At the age of 23, I managed one of the biggest stores in New England in Salem, New Hampshire, and I'm originally from this area, but I live in California now. And I loved that job so much, but I wanted something different. I wanted something more out of life. So I decided to travel. I fell in love with California, which is an amazing place. I decided to move, not knowing a single person, out to Lake Tahoe. And when I moved out there, it was the greatest move I could have ever done for my lifestyle. Nature is something I think everyone needs to experience, and it really opened up my eyes to, wow, there are beautiful things in this world. And at the same time, it was the worst move I had ever done for my business, for my career, I should say. I ended up working for the devil. Literally, Satan was my boss. I'm not kidding. I came to work every day, and I loved my job, but she made my life a living hell. And I don't know what I did to her, but she just didn't like me. So for 1.5 years, I was working every single day. And if anyone in this audience feels like that or ever has, you guys know that that just completely drains you. And if you can't go to work every day and love your job, then your relationships change, your self-confidence, you just feel like you're bashing your head against the wall. I've been there. And a lot of people know who I am today. That's not the person I used to be, because I call my fiance, his name's Sean, I call him Mr. California. He's about peace, love, and happiness, and is in rainbows and butterfly land at all times. And I'm like, how is this guy never stressed? And then there's me, like business, go to work, be miserable. And so one day I was at my job with that horrible boss, and she's like, hey Colleen, I think great manager. I really had this awesome opportunity for you. And I was like, is this a turning point in our friendship here? And she's like, there's a store about an hour and a half away in Reno, Nevada that needs your help. They need you. And so I was like, but I don't want to leave my Tahoe apartment. I worked so hard to get here. And I basically was brainwashed by her. I took the job. I brought the store from the last in the district to the first in 30 days. And I was proud. I was pumped. We're doing it. I come into work one day and there's people I've never met before, which was common because we always have people training us on products and things like that. And I was handed a white envelope without them saying a thing to me that had my employee ID number on it, and they said, I'm sorry, your store is closing. And I'll never forget that because I had all my eggs in one basket. That was my job out of college, and that manager knew that store was closing. And yeah, literally, right? And I just remember calling my dad and said, what am I gonna do? I had no idea. I had serious debt, even though I made close to 6 figures. I was very irresponsible with my money. And I was just like, Dad, what am I gonna do? And he's like, Colleen, it was a blessing in disguise. So I took the next year and a half to basically stand back up on my own 2 feet. I was 3,000 miles away from my family. And I still was in that negative Debbie Downer mode where, well, I felt very defeated and I was never happy, and my Mr. Butterfly Land, love of my life, Sean, was like, babe, you just need to think positive. And when you're in a dark and deep spot and someone says that to you, you'll want to punch them in the face. And so that was like basically the disconnect with Sean and I. I wanted so bad to be with him, and nothing was working for us because I couldn't open up my eyes to anything positive. And I'm going to kind of switch over because, again, I have to keep going. But Liz shared a picture on her Facebook, and it's the reason I stand up here today. If you are not sharing your story and you're not sharing on social media or even just in general talking to people, you are doing others a disservice. All because Liz decided to share a picture of her and Michael standing in front of the Disneyland castle. It was on a Beachbody trip, but I didn't know that. They were holding a cup of coffee, and she was smiling and happy. And I said, that's all I want. I didn't care even about the business. I was so broke, it was crazy. I still am in debt, working my way out of that. But I saw how happy she was, and it was just, I wanted that. I wanted a piece of that. And so as soon as I signed up as a coach, I definitely had success with the products, as you can see here. But for me, I went out and bought a binder, I bought a planner, and I said, I'm going to own a business because someone else took away my opportunity to basically run the store that I was running. And I didn't really know how to handle that, and I still really think back to it. I didn't know what I was doing, but I saw what Liz could do, and I said, why not me? And I was 27 years old when I signed up. And for the 27 years before that, I basically lived the victim life of, oh, it's raining today. Oh, my boyfriend's pissing me off. Oh, my boss basically worked me out of my job, of course. And there, I know that's a very common thing for people. They live, well, Colleen, I can't be happy because that's you. Actually, you can. And what helped me more than anything, and you guys can look at what I'm about to tell you guys as hocus pocus. You can sit there and type on your phones and not believe me if you don't want to. Totally fine. But I'm telling you that this is what's changed my life. In 14 months, I'm a completely different person, and I believe in not only this opportunity, but in every opportunity that comes my way in life. And how did I do that? I want you guys to do a quick little exercise. Look around this room and count how many red things you can find. Just keep it to yourself. Quickly, few seconds. I don't even know if there is red things in this room, but okay, so we probably have a few. While you were counting those red things, how many yellow did you see? 0. Who said 0? Someone else has done that before. That exactly, I was living my life in the red zone. One-way street, I see this way, my life sucks, I can't be happy, you can be happy, but I can't. And when I knew I had to move forward, because I was watching people like Liz have success, and I was watching people like my fiance never feel stress, ever. I didn't get it. And I said, maybe that whole positive thing really does work. Do you guys ever wonder how successful people become more successful? And then these really great people gain more great things in their life? That's because whatever frequency you put out in this world is what you get back. How do you think Lindsay Matway has 30 plus diamonds? Because she's positive and confident And so people that are like that are attracted to her. So my whole life, I was a magnet for negativity, and that's what I got in return. And so for me to help make my dreams come true, and I believe this is true for anyone in this audience here, that you have to always be willing to look for the yellow would be the positive. You always have to be willing to open up your mind. And it took me, I'm telling you, literally rewiring my brain, because all those moments of, it's too hard, I'm scared, I don't want to share that. Or what if someone rejects me, and I'm using Beachbody as the example, but I'm too scared to share. Well, you need to tell yourself, no, I'm drawing a line in the sand, because I had to do that, and I'm going to look for the positive. If Liz didn't share that picture, that wouldn't have been a positive for me. So, I need you guys to do a little rewiring of your brain. Sometimes when something negative comes your way, and you're just like, I can't do it, and shut down, tell yourself the word forward. I sometimes used to say that word out loud to myself, and sometimes underneath my breath, but that helped me. You have to get in your own brain. If you're not confident, if you're not positive, that's a learned belief. You learn, when you're a kid, kids are running around having a blast right now, they're like, yeah, life's great, sweet. You learned to not be confident. You learned to be negative, as did I, because that manager drilled my head into the wall. And so I knew that there were other people that were living that positive life. And so if you can always find the positive in something, and if you can teach yourself and rewire your brain to open up to other possibilities and understand that the money in this world does not need to be printed, the house you want doesn't need to be built, well, maybe technically, but it's available. The car you want to buy is sitting on the lot today, so it's right in front of you. If you were to just look right here and say, I can go get that, and understand that you can, takes a lot of work. It probably took me about 8 to 10 months to really get that down. In my Beachbody business, there was one call I had with Liz, and I was like, I only have X amount of weeks to hit 1 star. And just like, do you believe you can? And I'm like, I hope I can. And for 2 seconds, Liz was like, Colleen, I just need you to believe. I really need you just to do it. Just try it. Have you ever tried it? And I was like, no, because there was always that feeling and that little devil on my shoulder that there was like, but what if I don't? Oh my God, I'm going to freak out if I don't. And I wanted this business so bad. I really, really did. And so for once in my life, I was like, I'm telling that devil to get off my shoulder because I'm moving forward, drawing a line in the sand. I'm going to find the positive. I'm going to share this, and I'm going to stand up here in front of 300 people, and I'm going to help other people realize that this is how you can make your dreams come true. I'm losing my train of thought now, but thanks. So when this business gets hard, or just when life gets hard, you guys have to understand and surrender to the fact that those challenges and those obstacles every single day, your kids are going to drive you crazy, your husband might drive you crazy, your wife might drive you crazy, your coaches might drive you crazy, but you can always find the positive. And if you can open up your mind to this hocus pocus of positivity, your life will change. And I've completely changed my life through that. And there was one thing I wanted to say, and I know I'm forgetting it. Oh, so some of you probably thought I was going to stand up here and talk about if you do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you're going to be successful as a coach. I just got back from the leadership retreat, and I got to talk to all the top coaches that I love so much as a person and as a coach. And imagine if you could literally have a one-on-one conversation with, let's use Lindsay Matway as an example. You'd probably be like, I'm going to get all her goodies, and I'm going to do exactly what she does to be successful. Just like working out, there's no magic pill. There is all the resources that you guys need, and the webinars, and the YouTube trainings, and all the events, and everything you would need to be successful. Those vital behaviors are not a joke. That basically is the magic pill. So if you wanted me to stand up here today and say, do this to be successful, I'm here to tell you that that's what they tell me. They were laughing at me saying, that's what I did. And people overlook that. They're looking for another answer of there has to be something different, and there's not. You have to stay consistent and do those daily behaviors. And that's basically the magic pill. So, I think that's everything I wanted to say to you guys today. But really, I can't express enough about whatever frequency you're putting out in this world is what you're going to get back. Whatever vibrations and vibes you put out in this world is what you're going to get back. And it unfortunately took me 27 years to realize that, but it's true. And especially in this business, that's what you're going to attract into your business. I think I'm done.